Have you ever caught a fleeting glimpse of a dark figure in the corner of your eye, only for it to vanish when you turn to look? You're not alone. This phenomenon, often described as encountering shadow people, is a surprisingly common experience. Reported across cultures and throughout history, today we're delving into 5 intriguing, lesser-known facets of this mysterious phenomenon, moving beyond simple ghost stories to explore its deeper connections to our world and our minds. First, let's consider the historical context. While the term shadow people is relatively modern, popularized in the early 2000s, descriptions of similar entities are ancient. In folklore, they appear as shades, wraiths, or ethereal dark forms, often seen as omens or messengers from another realm. Islamic traditions speak of the jinn, beings made of smokeless fire who can be invisible or appear as shifting shadows. Similarly, some ancient mythologies describe shadow-like inhabitants of the underworld. This suggests that our modern encounters are part of a long, cross-cultural tradition of interpreting these fleeting, dark apparitions. It's not a new internet trend, but a recurring motif in the human story. Second, the connection to sleep paralysis is profound. Many of the most vivid and terrifying encounters with shadow people occur during this state. When you're in sleep paralysis, your mind is awake, but your body is still immobilized in its sleep state. This can trigger intense hallucinations, known as hypnagogic or hypnopompic hallucinations. The brain, attempting to make sense of the paralysis and the strange sensations, often projects a threatening figure into the room. This figure frequently takes the form of a dark, human-like shape, which many identify as a shadow person. This neurological explanation provides a fascinating bridge between a subjective paranormal experience and the objective workings of the human brain. Third, let's talk about the archetypal Hatman. Among the various forms shadow people are said to take, one of the most consistently reported is a tall, silhouetted figure wearing a wide-brimmed hat, often a fedora, and sometimes a long coat. This specific archetype is remarkably consistent in reports from people who have no connection to one another. What makes the Hatman so compelling is his specificity. Why a hat? Some psychologists, like Carl Jung, might suggest this figure represents a shadow archetype, the dark, unknown aspects of our own psyche. The hat could be a symbol of authority, concealment, or a bygone era, tapping into a collective unconscious fear or memory. It's a specific detail that deepens the mystery. Fourth, consider the role of peripheral vision. Our eyes are built with 2 types of photoreceptor cells, cones and rods. Cones are concentrated in the center of our retina and are responsible for color and detailed vision. Rods, however, are more numerous in our peripheral vision and are incredibly sensitive to light and movement, but not to color or fine detail. When you see something out of the corner of your eye, you're primarily using your rods. This can lead to misinterpretations. A simple coat on a rack or a literal shadow cast by furniture can be perceived as a moving, human-like form by the highly sensitive but less precise rod cells. When you turn to look directly, your cone cells take over and the figure resolves back into a mundane object. This biological quirk could be the source of countless shadow people sightings. Finally, shadow people are often described not just as passive apparitions, but as observers. A recurring theme in encounter reports is the distinct feeling of being watched, studied, or scrutinized. The figures rarely interact directly. They simply stand in a doorway, at the foot of a bed, or in a corner, observing. This adds a layer of psychological unease that goes beyond a simple jump scare. It speaks to a primal fear of the unknown gaze, of being an object of unseen intelligence. This aspect transforms the phenomenon from a mere visual anomaly into an experience that feels deeply personal and intentional, leaving a lasting impression on the witness long after the shadow has faded. From ancient folklore to modern neuroscience, the phenomenon of shadow people touches on the very nature of perception, fear, and the stories we tell to make sense of the unseen. Whether they are tricks of the light, projections of our subconscious, or something else entirely, their presence in our collective experience remains a captivating enigma. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration. If you found this topic as fascinating as I do, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more deep dives into the mysteries that surround us. We'll see you in the next one.